well as insurance companies and bar associations and manufacturing companies. So it's great to be able to have you all here together. And I guess I'll just get started with a little bit of a background on the in-plant industry and a few things that I've picked up from talking to various readers of different implants, maybe some ideas that you can take away and put to use in your operation. A few things that I'm going to talk about here are some of the other services that are lower down on the list, such as wide format printing, print procurement services, fulfillment services, scanning. If you go farther down the list, things like photo printing, selling promotional items, photography, videography, these kind of services are possible opportunities for you and your implant. And I'm going to give you some examples of people who are doing some of these things, and tell you a little bit about what they're finding. The point is, there are so many applications, and once you get it, people discover new uses for it. And I was just at the In-Plant panel this morning. Gary Boitos from San Antonio was one of the speakers, and he was talking about how it's such a gold mine. I wish I had the exact figure, but it's in the tens of thousands a month that they make from wide formats with one employee doing the operation. So, and his point, and it's a good one, is that you need to look for money-making services like this. Printing, you're not gonna make your money off just copying, but service like this that you can bring in some good revenue for is going to help justify your operation, bring in that additional money for equipment. Also in this info trend survey, 67% of those with wide format say their business has increased in the past year. And so it's just continuing to increase. So that's just a service to look into. So my overall message is you have to stay relevant. You have to make yourself indispensable to your parent organization. Don't just think about what we've always been doing. Think about what else can we do. Ask your customers, what kind of services are you looking for? Just try to get an idea. And even if it's not a print service, if it's something that you can provide just to make yourself more valuable, then do it. And as Richard Beto from the University of Texas said in an article once, we just can't continue to follow old business models. We must introduce services that our customers need.
UPMC, just a little bit about our company. We're about a $10 billion a year organization. We have over 20 hospitals, and we actually just acquired another hospital as of July. We also provide health insurance services as well. We have 55,000 employees. Out of those 55,000, only 20 of us support our internal print center. Our print center, though, supports all the hospitals, all the health plan printing that we do. We both, as Tim mentioned, we do duplicating and systemic work, so transactional EOBs, checks, physician checks, bills, you name it, we print it. The annual savings for this was about $2.5 million. The external print spend when we started is about $10.5 to $11 million a year for 2012. And so we expect the external print spend to continue to decrease and then increase our annual savings year after year after we kick this off and get it moving. So after we did our analysis, our self-reflection, our first step was to figure out where we sit in the market and in the industry. UPMC does duplicating and systemic work. We don't do large scale and we don't do offset printing, but are those areas in which we can grow. So we've positioned ourselves kind of in the center. And our goal then is to spread our circle out a little bit wider and wider and wider and bring in as much work as possible. We pitched a plan that says, no, we're not going to go after it all, but we're going to go after it in phases. We're going to go after it a little bit at a time. So, we already have a web-to-print platform that can do just about anything we want it to do. And if it can't, we work with the creators and we ask them for support and we ask them to add in features, which we've done several times and we're still doing every day. We're coming up with new ideas and ways to improve. Our end users are not printers. Our end users are nurses, doctors, admins who don't really know much about printing or how to print. So the easier that we can make it for them, the easier we can make it on ourselves. We're able to shift our model of printing, and this is super important for UPMC because in healthcare, it's an ever-changing industry. External printing for UPMC back in 2010 was 8 million. 2011 was like 9.5 million. 2012 was 10.5 million, almost 11. So when we pitched this, part of the idea was, okay, if we do nothing, if we do absolutely nothing, where will we be? And the top line shows that by FY18, we'll actually double our external print spending. If we just take a conservative approach and only bring in the little stuff like business cards and forms and things like that, we'll decrease our growth actually just a little bit. But if we go after it all and we say we're going to be first right of refusal, we'll take a look at every single job that comes through, then we can actually understand what we need and what we want and what we can do, and we'll get a better visual as to what UPMC is printing, not just in terms of hospitals, but in terms of marketing, communication. We can help them print better, print smarter. This is the ultimate insight into the entire organization's printing, which is why it's so important for our print center and for UPMC to get ahead of it instead of having people send things out to printers that don't necessarily know what they need or what they should be printing and not necessarily printing smarter. Our ROI is pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. It was definitely a collaborative effort between printing, finance, supply chain, all the different areas of UPMC, all the different organizations and branches of UPMC to make it come together and stand united, I guess I should say, is the day we presented it.